I've been able to help people. I'm talking about in Africa. Man, I got people tapped in Italy, all type of places that let me know that it's changing their lives. And that's what I believe true eternal life is. It's not my physical body living forever. It's, man, I have a truth that I'm standing on. And as long as this truth is here and I've imputed not necessarily a baby into somebody, but knowledge that's going to give birth to ideas, give birth to dreams, give birth to somebody else who can impact the world. That's how I truly live on forever. So that's how.
Truth is, can't nobody stop us. Truth is, can't nobody stop us.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to the Mentality Podcast. I am your co-host, Austin Carter, aka Mr. Obsessed with anything positive, anything that got to do with value.
What's going on, everybody? This is your co-host Lee, Mr. Inspired to Inspire. Man, we got a great topic today, man. A good show, and we got a great guest on the show, man. Good friend of mine, known him for a long time. I know we went to South Oak Cliff alumni. Brother Ben X.
Yes, sir, man. Brother Ben X, man. Happy to be on the podcast. Founder of the Digital Real Estate Program, student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I'm just here to give value as well.
That's what's going on. So, Brother Ben X, man, what we like to do when we have guests on the show, we usually like to ask, how's your mental, man? We're mentality, so we definitely got to check on the mentality of, our guests.
My mental is good. I recently lost my mother, so that was a trial for me. And actually, speaking of mental, sometimes I'll be even forgetting that she gone. So to watch the children sometimes, or to text her to see what she's doing, or if I'm somewhere and I'm trying to tell her about something, it's like my left brain reach for the phone to text her, then I gotta get a reminder on the other side. But that has forced me to get closer to God and think about His perspective of why He allows things to happen or permits things to happen. So throughout this process, it has made me grow deeper mentally and spiritually as well. So at this point, my mental is pretty good. Family's good. Business is going good. So pretty good right now.
That's dope. And you maybe realize something, like on days that it may not be as high, what do you do to kind of check that to bring your mental value up?
So some call God God, some call God Allah, and then some call God the Most High. So what I would say is, whenever I'm low, I just strive to get up there with the Most High. So I gave this analogy when I recently spoke in Philadelphia. We at a place where we sitting up high and we can see over the city of Dallas. If I was down there on the ground, these buildings look pretty big. We looking at skyscrapers. I can see them. I can see very far. But at the level that we at right now, these buildings look small. So I say, when we get on the airplane, I'm going up and I'm 10,000 feet. And I look down, these buildings, which at one point look like giants, look very small to me when I'm at an elevated state. So what I would say is, in the Bible, it talks about His ways are not our ways and His thoughts are not our thoughts. So whenever I'm low, or whenever I'm in darkness, oftentimes that means that is really, as the minister says, not even real. It's just the absence of light. So whenever I'm low or in a state of darkness, I just seek some type of light, some type of knowledge, and look and think about what is His perspective on this. And when I get His perspective and think about really gratitude, oftentimes, man, we think about what we don't have, but what about, what do we have? I'm talking about small things. Like, I'm a basketball player, so if I jam my thumb, I really see the value of my thumb. But before I jam my thumb, I don't see the value of my thumb. I see how it affects my shot. When I jam my pinky, I see how it affects my shot. Or if I hit my pinky toe, y'all know when you hit that pinky toe, that thing hurt, but it's something small on the body, but once it's affected, it has a great impact. So I start to find gratitude in small things, and it lifts my spirit.
Man, that's so impactful. And you talk about perception, and I think a lot of times people don't realize that your perception is reality. Now, you talked about Most High perception. I think a lot of people can connect and relate to that, because a lot of times when we think what we're dealing with, we think it's big, it's everything. But a lot of times it's not our purpose, and it's not the perception of the higher power that we should live by. So I think a lot of time realigning our focus to be able to focus on what's important and not worry about the little things is powerful, and that's a great message.
Right, and definitely for your mentality. I feel like you can pull yourself out of anything that you're going through in life and anything in general. It's all about your perception, because your perception is your reality. But once you actually think about it and visualize yourself in a state that's better than where you are now, that really pulls you out a lot of times. And that's what helped me a lot, like visualizing myself when I'm supposed to be happy, I'm supposed to be motivated. Anything I need to see now, I need to envision it and then hold that feeling in my future right now, you know? So that's really what helped me a lot. But Brother Ben X, man, I've been following for a while, man. I know you got a great message, man, from motivating to inspiring to pushing people to do what they need to do for themselves and their family. So, man, really, what just got you started, man? I know you've been doing it for a while, but what really was that turning point to say, I think this is it, and I'm hold consistent to it?
Well, I'll start with my birth, because as I matured, I think that my purpose now actually stems from my birth. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that when God is shaping us in the womb, he's preparing us, if you will, paraphrasing, for our purpose. So oftentimes in the condition that we were born in, God is at the root of that. And so he talked about how his mother attempted to abort him 3 times, and how it didn't work, obviously.
Right.
And through trying to abort him and it not working, she had to pray more and get closer to God. And so whatever is happening with the woman, whatever she's feeling, whatever she's eating and drinking, that's going into the womb of the child.
Right.
And so the minister has a lecture that I encourage any parent or future parent to look at, which is called How to Give Birth to a God. And when he started to talk about that, and he talked about how he's spiritually inclined and how he's, he has that as his nature towards God because of what his mother had to endure and go through in getting closer to God in that process, it made him. Well, I started to think about, well, how did God shape and make me? I was actually born in prison. And so my mother, I started to think about what was her thoughts. She probably was thinking about not being confined. She probably was thinking about getting free. She probably was thinking about not wanting to be there, listening to other people, maybe tell them and instruct them on what to do every day. Because I started to think about, man, in high school, in middle school, in my mind, I made up that, man, I didn't want to go to school for 12 years to a place that I don't want to be at just to get a degree or diploma and live that same lifestyle with a job. So you may know at SOC, I sold candy. I was an entrepreneur. I was actually selling eyelashes at SOC too, because the sisters, they wear eyelashes. We in the hood, they got the big eyelashes. So I found me a little plug, and I'm selling eyelashes. So when I think about that, I think my mother, the condition that she was in, actually is what put that spark in me, that idea in me of not wanting to be confined. So now I'm born in prison, but now by the grace of God, I've been able to free thousands of people all over the world from being in their mental prison, their physical prison that they put themselves in, from being in mental prison, spiritual prison. I've talked to people and they've told me that, man, you've, through your videos, helped me appreciate being black. I used to hate being black. I've helped people unlock their gifts. So all these things, I think, started from that. But when I first noticed it was, I was an All-American basketball player. And it felt good, scoring 40 and 10 or 30 and 8, whatever the case may be. Man, he cold in basketball. That would feel good to entertain people. And I thought that was my love, and it was. But when I came into the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 2015, I was already making skits on YouTube. I was already doing stuff on YouTube, but now I had a message that I can put in my videos. And so when I started to just share what I was learning over the internet and started to see the response, I said, man, this feel a lot better than, getting congratulations or whatever on the basketball. So I started to feel like I was fulfilling my purpose by giving somebody a message that would change their lives.
Right.
And when I started to do that, see the views take off, I just doubled down on it, man. And it just felt like something. And I feel like our purpose, as the minister teaches us, It's whatever you love to do most and whatever you do best. And I like to add to it, it doesn't just benefit you, it's going to benefit humanity. So basketball, you know, that benefits me when I get trophies, when I get accolades, but it don't really benefit nobody else, you know, unless my family, if I make it to the league or something. But man, with these teachings and what I've learned about business and just sharing my experience, I've been able to help people. I'm talking about in Africa. Man, I got people tapped in Italy, all type of places that let me know that it's changing their lives. And that's what I believe true eternal life is. It's not my physical body living forever. It's, man, I have a truth that I'm standing on. And as long as this truth is here and I've imputed not necessarily a baby into somebody, but knowledge that's going to give birth to ideas, give birth to dreams, give birth to somebody else who can impact the world. That's how I truly live on forever. So that's how I feel like I determined, you know, that I was living in my purpose.
I want to hustle back to what you said about confinement. I know a lot of people don't even really know what that means, because a lot of times we don't even know that we're mentally confined to things, to objects, to worldly things, or whatever the case might be. How do one really identify their own confinement that's limiting their own potential? How do we get to that point till we can say, you know what, I think I'm limiting myself? How do we identify that?
I think we identify that by striving for something that's outside of our box. So when you think about it, if I'm in prison, I know I'm confined because if I want to go somewhere, I can't get there.
Restrictions.
If I'm in a car and the car is jammed and I'm trying to get out, damn, I'm confined to this car because I can't get out. It's jammed. Many times it's hard for our people to discover that they confined because they don't have any goals that they're trying to get to. Many times we feel like we confined because we not trying to go nowhere. So I don't even know that I'm confined. This is my norm. But when we start to see, hold on, man, I want to be a millionaire. And this job, now I'm confined to this job because this job ain't gonna never get me to millionaire status. Man, I'm confined because I'm trying to get to another place spiritually, but my environment and what I've been taught has caused me to be confined to the ceiling that I put myself in by my own thoughts. So I would say the way that we first identify that we confined, we got to figure out or set a new destination for where we're trying to go. Then we'll see what's in the way. And once we see what's in the way, then we just got to go get guidance on how to get up out of there.
Man, that's powerful right there.
Do you think a lot of people get stuck in their comfort zone? You know, I know a lot of people, a lot of times they don't like to move forward. They might have the thought about doing something or becoming a millionaire, but they're so used to their comfort zone. Like, I don't know if that takes the person or it takes something to bring them to that point to say, you know, I want change. Or I want something different in my life. But they got the vision in their mind, but their comfortability keeps them confined, like you said.
I think to get out of something like that, it either has to come from within, God working through you, or it has to come through another person.
Influence.
Yeah,
right.
Because the environment is very you know, your environment is very strong on a person. You know, if you're not mentally more stronger than your environment will trump heredity. It'll trump, you know, the ideas that I have. I want to be a millionaire, but my mom ain't one, dad ain't one, uncle ain't one. So I'm like, man, it's not even capable for me. So for me, the internet was able to be that influence for me. Right. So yeah, maybe nobody in here was millionaires or six-figure earners, but I'm looking at this dude on YouTube and he inspired me. Or I'm listening to this podcast and he inspired me, and I'm seeing myself in the picture. So I would say, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you never have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean one next to it. So instead of me telling you, man, you need to do better, or you need to be better, or our people naturally, I believe, are gods, not supreme being, but children of the Most High God. So we naturally desire the best and want the best. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we have been put in a position where we see ourselves other than ourselves. So now we look at ourselves as inferior. And if I can make you think that you're nothing, I can make you not want nothing. But if I get you to raise your level of consciousness, you a god, or you're a queen, or you're a king, or you're the original man, or you're the original woman, now you say, man, I deserve the best. I deserve this, so I'm going to strive for this. So the minister says, you know, knowledge of self produces love for self. How can you love what you don't know? We be lying talking about I love everybody.
Yeah.
When you look in the mirror and you don't even love yourself. So knowledge of self produces love for self, and love for self produces respect for self. What do I mean by that? Well, if I work real hard and I get me a Bentley or I get my favorite car, I ain't letting everybody sit on the trunk of that car. I ain't letting everybody sit on the hood. But in the hood, when we get the little hand-me-down from Uncle now, he sitting on the hood, we sitting on the... But and we gonna put the best gas in it. We gonna make sure we gonna put the 93.
Yeah.
You better not put 87 in there. But we put 87 in ourselves every day.
Yes, sir.
With the food that we eat,
Yeah.
physically and spiritually and mentally. So it's not just the comfort zone of our environment, but what is the comfort zone of our mind? So the scriptures say, be ye transformed by the renewing of, not money. Yeah, not social media. Be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind. So if I can change the position and the way that he think in the mind, then we can change that actual person. And I'm saying that to say, because some people are in bad environments, but if their mind is different, they can go be, whoever they want to be. But sometimes that the person not strong enough, they need a person to grab them that's going to be around them and influence them to come on out.
Brother Ben, as you're talking, I'm going to my mind is going to a podcast you did, and I can't remember the gentleman name podcast or the network, but you said something that was so impactful, and it just kind of like brought me to this moment right here. And the gentleman asked you, and I might be butchering it, but the gentleman asked you somewhat about another gentleman about Charleston White, and he was saying something along the lines of, how can you be a part of a community that's influenced by men, and you're a man, because men supposedly supposed to make their own influence, and you said something north of, we're all influenced by something. That's the reason why we get haircuts. That's the reason why we do certain things in life. But it's not the influence of men that you should frown on. It's finding you a mentor. You talked about finding you a mentor that you can be able to learn from, because you said something of the nature of like, I'm young, I don't know it all. So me learning from someone that has more experience and more wisdom, that's where that influence can come from. So talk about being able to find those individuals in this world that you can like get that influence from.
I'll say this first to clarify that, because I'm pretty sure many, and it sounds good on the internet, don't follow men, you your own leader, like that sounds good. And if you're not thinking about the other side, you'll just run with it and say, I ain't follow nobody. Knowing you following somebody, that's why you got your beard trimmed the way you do. That's why you got your mustache. But here's what I want to say. For me, this is my belief. I ain't here to convince nobody. It says in the scripture that God is spirit, right? But spirit is dependent on the material. If I look at you and say, man, that brother got a good spirit. Did I see a ghost hop out of your body and I looked at it and said, that's a good spirit? Or did I look at you? So I'm looking at you, I'm reading you. The spirit is inside of man. And I'm saying that to say, I'm not necessarily following men per se, how we looking at it. When I'm following something and I'm hearing something, I'm following God. And I'm listening for God, but the God is coming through you. So if you tell me, Brother Ben, hop off this building, I made up followed you to where we at right now, but I ain't finna follow you jumping off this building. So if you telling me wrong and I'm, have my personal relationship with God, and naturally the laws of God is already written in our nature before we read any Bible or Quran. So I know right and wrong, so much so we have to trick ourselves to do wrong. The minister said, devil is deceptive intelligence, rationalizing disobedience. What I mean by that, you're not supposed to be over here with this woman. You're not supposed to be with her. But you say, well, listen, man, we got to study. You got this test coming up. This is just my test partner. We just go, and then it turns into Netflix and chill. Now, in your mind, you already know. Now, listen, don't go over there. This is the guy talking. Don't go. You like her now. Here go the devil. Y'all ain't gonna be doing nothing but studying. So these two dualities is inside of the man. So yes, I'm gonna follow man or I'm gonna follow woman if I hear God coming through this person. And like I said, I don't know everything, and it would be arrogant of me to think that I shouldn't follow anybody when we follow laws every day. God works through human beings. It said, don't you know that you the real temple of God and that the spirit dwells within you? Yes, sir. So do I think God only comes through me? That would be arrogant. That would be foolish. And do I think God is a spook, a ghost that's going to come talk to me? No, I don't believe that. So for me, that's why I believe ain't nothing wrong with following man. Now, if that man tells you wrong, then now you don't obey that. You know, if that's going to go against God or go against what your beliefs is. So I want to first clarify that. Now, where do they get guidance from? Man, this is what I would say. So this is what I would say. I always say this. You got to have a spiritual GPS. Siri won't tell you nothing until you put the destination in. So I always tell my students, don't come asking me all these different questions until you tell me where you want to go. How am I going to really properly guide you if I don't know where you're trying to go? So when people, like for me, when I do branding and social media, I don't go, oh, you need to do this, you need to do your landing page. We do a brand strategy session first. Because if you know nothing about my business, how you going to come in and just tell me all that my business have to do if you don't know nothing about it? You don't know my target audience. You don't know what their needs are, what the product I'm trying. If you don't know that, how you going to really give me some advice? So I always, get this example. If I'm driving down the street and I roll my window down, I say, hey, how I get to whatchamacallit? What you going to say?
What's whatchamacallit?
What's whatchamacallit? If I say, hey, how I get there? You're going to be like,
Where you going?
where you going? So as a coach and someone, and if you want guidance, first think about where you trying to go. Then that will reverse engineer and tell you where to go get the guidance. Because I can say YouTube. But if you don't know where you're going, you ain't gonna know what to search. I can say Chat GPT, new technology, AI technology that can damn near tell you anything. It can write a whole landing page for you. It can write the whole email sequence. But if you don't know what your product or service is, it ain't gonna be useful for you. So I would say, man, first think about what your gift is and where you're trying to go first. Then you can find it on YouTube. Then you can find it in you. I can find it in her. I can find it in the child if I know where I'm going, because I'm always listening, because I know where my destination is. But if you don't know where your destination is, I can say Google, Bing, Yahoo, and it still wouldn't matter.
Right. And I hear you say your spiritual GPS, and I think you have to be in alignment to understand and hear your spirit when it speaks to you, and God when it speaks to you. But I know a lot of time, like men, and that comes with like your emotional connection to yourself. I feel like a lot of times men, and they go through a lot and they suppress a lot, and they don't really feel their way through life. We kind of like, man, I'm the man. I'm just pack it on my shoulders and I'm gonna keep going, and whatever come my way, I'm just go with it. I might not have it, but how do you get somebody in tune with themselves enough to know, like, okay, well, I feel this, and this is my spiritual GPS telling me this is the direction I need to go?
We don't express ourselves, and we don't listen to that God within because we're listening to something else. And we can become what we become what we submit to. So instead of me worshiping God, I start to worship the response from social media. Instead of me worshiping God, I start to worship the response from others who may see what I'm doing or hear what I'm saying. Right. So instead of me expressing myself and listening to, brother, you can feel that. Like, you know, it's okay to cry. Like, it's okay to not be okay. But as the man, we got to always be strong. We got to always be, nothing's wrong with us. Not knowing that that's really harming us, because this is anger, this is emotion that's being bottled up, and eventually it's going to come out in some type of way. So we look at young people today, or men today, who just killing. You look at me wrong. That ain't, listen, I always tell people, that ain't who you are by nature. Right. You can't make me believe you grew up and nigga, we finna go kill everybody. Or I'm finna pull up. Like, when you was 4 years old, you was running around smiling. Yeah. How you go from running around smiling, laughing, to now you don't smile at all, you mean. Something has happened to you between the ages of 5 and 26. But this ain't who you really are, because if it was, you would have came out like that by nature. Right. So I would say, man, we've been influenced by other things, and it's a multitude of reasons. So if I'm listening to myself saying, man, just talk it out with the brother, I'm thinking now, well, who gonna say that nigga weak? Who gonna say he's a punk? Who's gonna say? And then we want respect, because we never had anything growing up. And by me, being this gangster or this thug or this hard dude, this is what's gonna gain me respect in the comments. So if I knock him out, or if I respond like a gangster, knowing I really don't want to go to jail, but just to get my comment section going. So this right here, these comments is feeling something, and the dopamine affecting my mind and giving me something that I'm really void of, which is love. Man, they loving me. They got your hearts coming in. Like, for example, there's this brother, I won't say his name. He recently passed. Man, he was known in the city growing up, rapping, and his father was trying to save him. And I was trying to help out as well. And man, he doing what he doing. And his father, he did 15 years in prison. And so, you know, he's without a father growing up, of course. So he got to maybe fulfill that part, protect, whatever the case may be. And I'm seeing the comments whenever he's saying certain things in response, when they making their music with the guns and all this. So he's getting a lot of love in the comment section. I hit him up, hey man, your dad trying to, we reach him. I found him on Instagram. His dad, he didn't know nothing about social media. I found him on Instagram, man, call your dad, man. So we trying to get to him. We done brought him, you know, to a little study group and things of this nature. He done learned. And he ended up, I don't know if he did it or somebody, but they blocked me. Now, I'm the one who really love him because I'm trying to stop you from this. But he's getting so many hearts. There we go. Yes, sir. That's what's up. From here, he think that's the love. But his God within is telling him he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be saying that. They shouldn't be encouraging me to do that. Right. But this fulfilling something to me. Now, I'm talking about after I DM'd him, probably 2 to 3 weeks later, he gets shot. And is paralyzed. And he's sitting in the hospital, and he ended up telling his dad, I should have listened. So many of us, man, we deny that voice of God. We think disobeying God is just, I read the scripture, said thou shalt not kill. No, God is speaking to all of us, and the more we disobey, that God within is going to lead us to something. So we think we getting away because you didn't see me steal it. She didn't see me steal it. There's a consciousness that we all have, that guilty consciousness. That's the God within saying, but I saw you. So sometimes it takes chastisement for us to start to listen. And unfortunately, sometimes that chastisement may lead to our death. So he said we suffering from a mental and a spiritual death that leads to an untimely physical death. So I would say, man, we have to get closer to God and think about who do we really want to worship and who do we really want to please. And once we get to a point to where we really want to please God, or if you don't believe in God, I always say add an O to God and please good. Please good. Then the world is going to always pull on it because the devil going to give us something every day in the music and the TV shows and the movies, everything. And it's going to pull on you. And the Quran says that Satan makes evil fair seeming. So it makes it easy to do. It makes it easy to, you know, you don't even feel guilty no more. And once we get to that point, man, it becomes very hard to listen to that voice. And sometimes, like in the Bible with those, the dry bones couldn't come together and they didn't start to move until he sent the wind and chastisement began to come and things start to happen. So the minister called Trump, what did he call him? He was pulling back this, how did he call it? God was using him to show us true white supremacy, not necessarily through him. Maybe he done said some stuff, but it brought out in white people, they stopped hiding. Man, you start to see them say certain things like, damn, you really think like that? But it brought that out and it made us come together. It made us say, well, dang, this how they really getting down. Well, we need to come together. We don't need to be our own enemy. So that's what I would say to that, man. It's either gonna take you going through something through chastisement, or you're just going to have to see that there's going to be a better reward for you when you listen to that voice versus disobeying it. It's
powerful. And that's what one thing that I love about your message is that you not only talk about the influence for the positive, but you also spoke on the negative influence and how we internalize those things. And you have to be careful what you're internalizing, because sometimes what you internalize can be to your detriment. And I just think that we as a community are stronger together. And what I mean by that, in like the most layman terms, if we put our arms together and lock, it's harder to you to go through. It's harder for you to break through. You know what I mean? So that's one mind, one body, one mindset. So I just believe that community is important. And what I want to ask you, Brother Ben X, is that how important is it for us to be able to come together as a community?
It's very important. So much so, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. And it will solve over 90% of our problems. But the problem, I think, is we don't know what unity is. Brother Nuri breaks it down like this. There's a difference between unity and uniform. Uniform is everybody dressing like me. Everybody dressing like you, everybody in the Nation of Islam, or everybody's in the Baptist church, or everybody's a Hebrew Israelite, or everybody. That's not necessarily have to take place. That doesn't necessarily have to take place for us to come together or be productive. Unity is you have your way, I got my way, she got her way, but we're gonna find a way to come together on common grounds, right? Not focus on our differences. So he said, I seen a man drowning. And the Christian came down there and threw his rope out there and tried to save him, but his rope was too short. The Muslim came and said, I got this. He threw his rope out there and his rope was too short too. Then the Hebrew Israelite said, see, y'all ain't submitting to the laws. You ain't submitting to the Most High. So he threw his rope out there and his rope was too short too. He said that they can sit here and do two things. They can sit here and argue about which rope is the longest or the strongest, and ain't none of them saved a man. Or they can pull their resources and tie all the ropes together, reel it back in, and throw the rope back out there and truly save the man.
You know, Brother Ben X, I feel like your message always, well, as we speak right now, your messages bring me back to stuff that I've seen. And I remember the first video I have seen that I came across to you, and I kind of wanted to give you your flowers right now. And I don't know if you remember this video, because I know you got a lot of them. There was a video where you pulled up on, I believe, some Hebrew Israelites, and you allowed them to speak and preach their message. And after that, that's all you wanted, because you wanted to show how that if I might think something different, you might think something different, at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to be able to believe what you want. And I don't know if you remember that, but like, that's the first video that I ever seen of you. You gave that brother the opportunity to say whatever he want, despite what you believe in, despite how you move. And like, I want you to kind of explain that, because you talk about community and you talk about unity. Where does that come from? Why are you the type of person that, minus what you believe in, you're going to give someone else the opportunity to be able to explain what they believe in? Do you remember that, by the way?
Yeah, I think it was at a gas station. I get it from the minister. The minister used to, during his lecture, stop, and if he see the Hebrew Israelites in the audience, he would stand them up and have everybody congratulate him. If he saw the Moors, he would stop. Shout out to my Moors. If you see 5%ers, he'll raise them up, because he knows our solution is not intellectual masturbation, which we have today. It's not, man, I'm finna try to win over you. I'm finna try to make you look bad. Bet you don't know this scripture. Like, okay, what did you get out of this? There was nothing productive about that. So me seeing the minister try to really not just talk it, but he shows and displays that it's not this ain't no religion gang banging. How you gonna go down there to the Crips and the Bloods and say y'all need to stop gang banging and doing this, going at each other, when I done became religious, or I done joined an organization and we doing the same thing? Even if it's not religion, I got this black organization, I don't want to unite with y'all because I want the community to look like I'm doing more better. Or if this brother doing something, I'm doing something, I ain't gonna collaborate with him because he look like he might. Well, nah, let me talk about him. So how I'm gonna condemn a Blood and a Crip or these young people, and I'm doing the same damn thing? So for me, man, knowing what the minister has displayed for us, that it's truly gonna take all of us to come together. And another reason, he said, your mother said 3 + 4 = 7. Mine says 6 + 1 = 7. Yours says 7 plus 0 equals 7, and we argue thinking that we got different answers. We just got different equations, but we getting to the same answer, 7. So if in that video I was trying to show people, listen to what he's saying, because he's saying the same thing we've been saying, just in a different way. Don't you know you the chosen people, brother? Yeah. Don't you know we was enslaved for 400? Yeah. You the real children of Israel? Yeah. We say the same thing. But and if you, it's so funny, they don't think we believe that. And so we have final call newspapers that y'all know go out all over the world. Well, we've had that, the real children of Israel, the people of God. Well, they may say, well, brother, you say you believe in Islam. Brother, stop. What does Islam mean? Well, see, that's that Arab stuff. Yeah, I didn't ask you all that. What does Islam mean? Well, they don't even know. They don't even care to know. What does a Muslim mean? Well, brother, you just all that. I don't even care. As long as you ain't with the. What does Muslim mean? It simply means one who submits their will to do the will of God. That's all a Muslim mean. What does Islam mean? It means entire submission to do the will of God. Or Most High, Jehovah, whatever name you want to call it. So the minister was asked a question one time as I closed. He said, because in the Quran it states, Allah will accept no religion besides Islam. But you see the minister speak at Christian Baptist churches, this place, and a brother stood up and asked him, why don't you go to these Christian churches and you tell them that? He says, why would I go tell them to convert to what they already are? Now watch this. He says, if you submit your will to do the will of God, but you call it Christianity, if you submit your will to do the will of God or Most High, and you call it Hebrew Israelite, if I know what Muslim mean, why am I finna argue with you? That's just the title of it. But you submitting your will to do the will of God, I know that's Muslim. You submit your will to do the will of God and you calling it Hebrew Israelite, I'm not finna argue with you and say, no, brother, that's Islam. Brother, I know what it is, so why I'm gonna argue with you? In the scripture, Jesus said, not my will be done, but thy will be done. Sure. Now, a Muslim is one who submits their will to do the will of God. That's the same thing. So why I'm going to argue with you? So you got to have I feel like a lot of us, when we first are new coming into knowledge, we want to go condemn others. You shouldn't eat pork. Brother, I just ate pork yesterday. I just stopped eating yesterday. Why am I going to come condemn you now? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So instead of us getting this knowledge and now we so excited, I got to go give it to others. No, you just be the example first. And when you be the example, you will lift them up. And so instead of trying to find things that you disagree with, which you was just doing yesterday, which you actually repelling them versus making them want to, just find common ground and you will see that, hey man, over time, if you just keep feeding on the truth in them and feeding on the God with them, they'll get to where you at. So
be the example first, man. That resonates with me so much because I used to find myself in conflict with my friends and my peers, just trying to expound on new information that we might not grew up with believing or seeing or even thinking was possible. And that's one thing that I've been working on for a while, just understanding to be the example first. Me and my wife have done a lot of great things to be able to better ourselves and other people. Not to toot our own horn, but my wife has helped over 40,000 people through course sale content creation to be able to start in business, to be able to learn how to monetize, to a plethora of things. And I'm just by you saying that, I'm realizing that that's the most important thing that we have to get back to, because a lot of times I find myself like, man, you don't know what you don't know, and you trying to like convey that message and you really trying to explain it, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is be the example first. Mm-hmm. They might not believe it now. Right. They might not believe it tomorrow, but if they want it and once they walk that path, they'll start to see it. So be the example first is really powerful. So with that being said, LeAnthony, with you starting content creation, you getting into content creation, how has being able to start in content creation affect the people around you? Just for them watching and seeing what you're doing.
Man, because I can say this, man. Before content creation, man, I never was really big on social media or putting my face in front of the camera, even using my voice to have a message to relate to other people, you know. So a lot of the people that I hung around, they thought the same thing. Like, man, we don't fool with all that stuff. We kind of old school in a sense, which is, it don't make sense. We still post on it, but just me recently, bro, being active and having that message and being able to portray what's in my mind and through my heart out into the world, I seen how people receive that and how people accept what I'm saying, and not necessarily hearing what the naysayers got to say, like, nah, don't put that out there, don't do that. I listen to what my heart's saying, I follow that, and man, it's led me so much, and the people around me are starting to become more comfortable because they're like, oh boy, it's just a mental barrier that I have to get past to do what I really need to do. Like, I feel like we live in a world of people that we have to help. Like, it's so many people that we can provide and make a way to help them, and we help them through helping ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the hurdle that I feel like we have to get over. A lot of times I was telling my wife, like, I feel like people don't take me serious. Like, we have done so many things and we live an unbelievable life and we help so many people, but we're private people. We don't show a lot. Half the people don't even know that we do what we do at the capacity simply because of what we don't show. But a lot of times I believe that people have to understand that this is real. Content creation is real. This digital era is real. Monetizing your message is real. We laugh and joke all the time, and I hear people say, I'm not really a social media person, but you're on it every day.
Every day, yeah.
You're making a post every day.
Cowboys,
you sharing something every day. You are a content creator. You just don't know it. There's real world situations going on to where people every day are making a whole living off of getting paid for just living.
Yeah.
Posting videos on YouTube, being able to be on all these social networks, and they're monetizing their message, whatever it may be. So understand that monetizing your message is so important, and you can change the quote unquote chains of barriers in your own life and your family just by doing what you love. You like working out. I watch Brother Ben play basketball. I don't know you personally, but I watch you play basketball. And from what I see, you can hoop really well. And a lot of people are taking even video content like that and they're monetizing it because they're entertaining people. So I believe that you should really try to find what you love and monetize that. What's your thoughts on monetizing your message or monetizing what you love to do from this digital era?
Man, I've been telling people for the past umpteen years to get involved with digital real estate. I call it digital real estate. I ask people, raise your hand if you're involved with digital real estate. And a lot of people don't raise their hand because they think I'm just talking about those who are influencers. And I say everybody's involved in digital real estate. You just a consumer. And my goal is to make you the producer. And so the scripture says your gift will make room for you and bring you amongst great men. So there's no better time, I believe, than now where you can literally monetize whatever your gift is. I've seen people literally get paid thousands, hundreds of thousands, eating lobster on camera.
Mukbang.
With the dipping sauce, yeah.
I've seen people get paid for making doing that stuff on the microphone. They ain't said. We've seen a brother make millions of dollars. All he do is
he ain't even said nothing.
I don't even know what he sound like.
I don't even know his name, but I just know
Man, that's it.
He's
So
famous,
whatever your gift is, man, you can really monetize it. And again, we letting comments from people we don't even know that we not even gonna see stop us from reaching our dreams, stop us from monetizing, stop us from getting away from this 9-to-5 job that we confined to and we say we don't like. How much don't you like it? You on this social media every day and you don't want to know how to monetize it. You don't want to be consistent. And a lot of time, I think our problem is this, if I'm going to be fair. They look at, man, he making thousands of dollars and I only got 20 views. So I try to always remind my students, bro, I just got a DM a couple months ago. A brother told me, Brother Ben, I went back on all your posts. You used to post 100 times a week when you only had 10 to 20 likes. And that wasn't no team. This is all me posting. And all my posting today is still all me. So, yes, you might have 10 to 20 likes, but I say focus on passive impact, not passive income. Ooh. Because the more people that you impact, the more income will come. So now I've made millions. But I've also impacted over 500 million people on my Facebook alone. No ads. Because what I talk about, I can't get ads. They gonna shut me down. I'll be demonetized. So I have over 500 million views on my Facebook alone. That led to when I come up with a product, they want to buy it. Because I'm transparent. I share my story, good and bad. And so oftentimes people are looking at somebody and they saying, I got to be perfect like her. Man, she got makeup on. She done got her hair done. She done got a fake nose. Her booty not real. Toe, feet not real. Nothing real. Yeah. And you saying, man, I can't. You comparing yourself with something that's really artificial. This, and then here's the other part. Yes, this brother, he's making 6 figures, but you don't know he been doing this since he was 14. He just not blowing up. Just now. My first monetization, 100, because there used to be a $100 threshold on YouTube, was in 2010. Y'all see the over 40 million YouTube views on these channels now, but what about when I only had 13 views and I was still posting? I was still creating. So everything takes time. And another thing I feel like, and a brother told me this, man, I couldn't learn from you because, well, it was hard for me because you was younger than me. And so I like to get this picture. Yes, that sister who making 6 figures a month, she's 23. But she's older than you in business. So yeah, you 44 years old. You just now finna take your leap of entrepreneurship. This your first year. She been doing it since she was in high school. So you seeing her, she's 10 years old in business. You 1 year old. So she older than you. So we get into comparing ourselves. Yeah. You comparing your first year to somebody, this they 10th year. So yeah, my video's getting 1,000 likes. Yeah, my video's getting 10,000 views here. And sometimes you may see me get maybe 500 views, but I'm still gonna post. I ain't gonna make every shot in the game, but I'm gonna keep shooting. Hey man, so on social media, man, it takes one. I don't know the brother or the sister story, a name. What's that person's name who had a YouTube channel, didn't have a lot of views, but they had one view, or that one viewer, and it was Oprah. And she was, and he got put on, and she got put on. Yeah. So a lot of time we thinking about 100,000 views. I want to get 100 million views, and that is good too. But if you really had 1,000 people that supported you, that'll change your life.
That's all you need.
If you had just 5, you talking about I only got 2,000. How many of them had you called? How many of them had you DM? You say I only got 5 people that engaging with me. I go to your page, you ain't responded to none of them. You ain't said thank you. You ain't gave no engagement back. So you gotta build your way. I got something called the GEA method. So I'm finna give you some game now.
Oh yeah.
The GEA method is give, engage, and attract. So people say this. They say, man, ain't nobody on my page. How many pages you on? Ain't nobody commenting on my. How many people have you commented? Well, don't nobody follow me. Well, I say, well, hey, when you get you a house. This is going back to my digital real estate. How many of you all would invite somebody over to a housewarming? You ain't got no couches. You ain't got no TV. You ain't got nothing to eat. Yeah. So why are you expecting people to follow you and you ain't got nothing for them to follow?
No value.
Why are you expecting people to follow you but you ain't got no value? How you gonna raise? If I want to raise the value of this property, I'm gonna put some granite tops on. Change the floor.
Attraction.
I'm gonna put a pool in the backyard. You ain't got no pool. You ain't got no bathroom. Nothing in your house, and you expecting something back from it. So I always paint that picture with digital real estate and social media. Right now, you just building your house. And just because don't nobody see it now, that don't mean they won't see it later. And I'm gonna end with this example. There's a video that I posted years ago. I'm driving in the car, I'm sweating, and I'm telling people about how my car don't have heat. So I always document my process because I know this is gonna be inspirational one day. That post has 77 likes at that time. I reposted it last year, and that thing got thousands of likes. Because now what I was saying then and where I'm at now brings context to what I was talking about, and now it's impactful. So don't worry about who don't see it right now. Don't worry about who not liking it right now. 3 years, this content gonna be super value. Just like there's a house right now that some people don't even want. They look at it, they drive right by it. But somebody see that and say, ooh, that's an opportunity. And in 3 years, this is going to be worth X, Y, and Z. So yes, you don't have 3,000 people looking at your Instagram live right now. But if you I still to this day repurpose content from 2017 and it still impact people. And I still get a lot of engagement. They don't even realize he posted that in 2018. So I would say, man, listen, man, just be patient, man, with that social media stuff, because yes, you can make money, but when you're doing it for the money, it'll rob you of the spirit. I gotta say that. If you only posting to make money, it'll rob you of the spirit, and you'll start changing your message based on what you think and see make money. So you okay, let me put them out there a little bit now, because she making money doing that.
Right.
So you got to think about, what is my real message, and you gonna find your tribe. Just go find your tribe. So you give first. You go engage on their page first, and I'm talking about valuable, not cool. Awesome. Keep it up, man. Everybody's finna follow you because you saying that. But imagine somebody saying, I'm gonna give y'all some game on a financial page, EYL, Earn Your Leisure, all these pages, right? And they post about social media, and somebody in the comments say, how do I monetize my YouTube? Well, they too busy to respond. But what if I came under their comment and said, peace, I seen nobody responding to you yet. I got 3 ways you can monetize on YouTube. The first way you monetize on YouTube is by getting, of course, subscribers, and you got to get a certain amount of watch hours, and you make money from influence. Now, I got to be honest, that's going to take a little bit longer. So you get paid from the monetization of the ads. That's how you're going to get paid through there. So you got to get, and then use SEO, which is keywords. You want to use keywords in your titles, because YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine. So when they discover your page and you got the right keywords, you may show up in the suggested videos, and you'll gain that's one way. The second way, they got something called affiliate marketing. You can sign up for Amazon affiliate, or you can sign up for these clickbank.com, and you can put these links in your description. So whatever you're talking about, for example, the microphone. If anybody wants this microphone, I'll put the link in my description, and if y'all click this, I may get 30% if somebody goes to buy. So that's the second way. That may be a little easier, because if you got 20 people watching you, but 10 people buy it, that's more money than you'll make on the monetization side. And the third way can be a little bit more lucrative. The third way, if you got your own product and your own service, instead of you worried about they ass or worried about somebody else's product to get an affiliate link, you get the whole pie with your own product. So if you got your own product and you get 100 views, if 20 people buy it, you get all that money. Now that's 3 ways. I hope that helped you out. If you need anything else, let me know. Now, if somebody was to do that, what's the first thing you're gonna do in the comments? If I commented and you was trying to figure out how to monetize YouTube, what's the first thing you're gonna do?
I'm probably gonna go to your page.
Go to my page. So I done gave. Look, then when you come to my page, you're gonna do. If I got a lot of stuff already there, content, tip, 3 tips, 2 tips. What you gonna do? You gonna start commenting, right? Asking, man, how you do this? I see you engaging, so there go to E, engaging, and then that's what's gonna attract you. So when you give valuable game, that's gonna cause them to engage. When I'm on live, when I go live, I say, hey y'all, anybody got? They already know. Press 1. Because they asking questions. I bring them on my live and let them ask, and I answer the question. So boom, I'm impact. The more people I can impact, the more they're gonna say, I gotta go back to that brother. I gotta go what they posting tomorrow. And then I'm consistent with it. So I'm posting every day, not every 2 weeks. They don't know when I'm gonna show up. Imagine watching Martin and you don't know when the next episode is. Oh, well damn, what? So they're gonna be lost. But if I know Martin coming on every Thursday, I'm ready. 6:30, ready for it to come on. That's how we gotta treat our social media. This is a business. So treat it like a business. You go work for somebody else 9 to 5, and you there on the clock every day. Why you not like that with content? Especially if it's something that you love. So that's what I would say to that. Give, engage, and attract, and just be consistent, and don't worry about the low numbers now. These everybody had 0 followers when we opened up our account. Everybody at some point was getting maybe only 10 views, unless you was a celebrity that was old, that was already blew up on the end on TV the traditional way, and they came over to social media. But anybody who grew on social media, we all started the same way. And if people start to understand that and they internalize their reality, it'll make them have a little bit more patience.
Man, that's free game right there.
That's free game.
And the most impactful thing is that all following, all views and likes are not created equally. Brother Ben just told you how to be able to have multiple streams of income through social media. You can have a social media page. You can have affiliate links. You can be able to have paid ad partnerships. These are the strategies that me and my wife use to this day. That was able to change our life. And a lot of times when people look at somebody with 1 million followers, people ain't even making 10% of what their followers are. You know what I mean? And we are a testament to that. And when Brother Ben X says the value, you have to lead with value. I ain't got 1 million followers, but I got value to give. So if I have 1,000 true fans in my tribe, that's all I need. If 1,000 people gave you $50, now we all decent at math. If you're not, get your calculator. See how much that is. You don't need a big following. All you need to just have value, and with that value, you can create multiple streams of income. One thing that I always say: create a product from the product. If your product is posting videos on YouTube, that's one thing. Now from that product, now you can have affiliate links to you can partnership with companies or these brands. That's another product. Now from there, what you also can do, you can also have your own merchandise and other things of nature. You now classes, now you can do events and all these plethora of things just from this one product. So create a product from a product is what we believe in strongly, and that's what we implement every day. So man, you give me some deep game.
I want to give some more, because I know there's somebody out there saying, well, my following, it's just taking me a long time to build my following. Well, you may not always be the owner of the house, but they got to hire a contractor. They got to hire somebody that can lay the blueprint. They got to hire somebody that's going to input certain things. So you may not be building your house, but can you help somebody build their house and get a little equity? So let's look at it. When we look at business is the activity of life. Business is about solving a problem for someone else.
For sure.
So let's think about this. How many people do y'all know that go live every day and they got a lot of great comments? Oh, that was so powerful. This changed my life. That's one video though. He just said make a product of the product. Why we don't turn this live stream into an ebook? My first book, I didn't write that book. My first book was a lecture that I did in Tampa, and I turned that into a book. Then people doing audio books. Why I'm gonna come in and redo it? I'm gonna turn what I just said into a book, put a beat behind that, there go my audio book. So I'm doing all these things at the same time. Now let's check it out. This person got 400,000 followers already, but they don't know how to write no ebook, and if they do, they ain't got the time to write the ebook. So I come in like this here. I done already wrote the ebook. So I tell people all the time, this is a gem. Stop going to people with ideas. Go to people with results. What do I mean by that? I'm not finna come to you and say, hey, brother, man, that podcast y'all did, man, that was so cold. Can I do an ebook for y'all? You may say, nah, I mean, not right now. But if I come to you, the ebook already done. I got it formatted already. I done created a whole cover for y'all, and I present it to you. Man, this product right here, I think this will do good. Can you put it out there? Number one, it's digital, so y'all ain't got to go to the post office, so it's free. It costs y'all nothing to do this. Now I say, can I just get maybe 10% of the sales? Now imagine you already got 400,000. You done already wrote the ebook for me. You done formatted it for me. You done designed it for me and said, can I get 10%? And then you told me if I want to do this on all your other lives, just let me know. So now I'm willing to do that for if somebody willing to go down all my lives and literally transcribe them. You done formatted it already. You done took a good picture of me, put it up there, and all I got to do is post it and let the money come in. Of course, I'll give you 10%. So if you got 400,000 followers, do some math. If you got 400,000 followers.
Oh, this getting good here.
Yeah, man, it's getting real good.
And only 400 people buy for, let's say, $47. What I say, 400? 400 times 47. That's $18,000. Now, what is? Let's do the math now. What's 10% of 18,000? What? 1,800?
1,800.
1,800. You done made you $1,800 off this one thing. Now watch this. It used to took you a while to write an ebook. Now I can have that transcribed not by me, but through a software, an AI software, where I upload your audio into the AI that transcribes it. Now you probably was telling some points that you was off a little bit. You didn't finish your point. Now they got something called Chat GPT. You can put what you want to write in Chat GPT. Let that add a little bit more to the story. Put some meat on it. Now you done gave them this ebook, this whole ebook, and you done made you $1,000, $1,800, but that's only one person. I wouldn't deny. I don't know how many people would deny. Now I don't want you to do the ebook. Now what if you get you 10 people, 10 influencers who ain't doing ebooks, 10 influencers that's missing out on digital products? Now you got maybe $10,000 coming in every other day or every other month, depending on they following, how good they market or whatever. But now you ain't got to worry about you getting the followers. They already got the follow, but they was missing a digital product. You come add that TV in their house. You come add that swimming pool in there, making their digital real estate better, and now I got equity in the product.
Hey, and that's real game. Just how you said when you add that product and that $1,800 that you said you getting that 10% from, that's just that one time. Like as they get new people to come in and they add more value, that's always gonna be your still 10%. So that just changed the dynamic of a lot of things, bro, when it comes to, you know, building a brand or building your business and being not just being the business but helping somebody else too. Yeah, because if you can't build your own house.
Because a lot of people think that I gotta be the one that's out front. Everybody not gonna be out front. Sometimes you gotta be Dennis Rodman. Let Jordan be Jordan. And because we want to be Jordan, we missing out on our purpose. Sometimes our job, maybe I'm not the speaker. Maybe I'm the one that's going to keep the speaker booked, manager. You're going to make just as much money more than what your job is if you just support the star. Right. So many times there's so many opportunities to just, man, I can't tell you, I know them. These influencers don't all got teams. They doing these ebooks themselves. They trying to go to Canva and design it themselves. Do you know how much more time they can buy back if you did it and you didn't charge them $5,000 like somebody? You may say, just give me equity. As you get paid, I get paid. So nothing's coming out of your pocket. Right. And it's digital. So you're not paying. Man, that's a no-brainer situation. But many of us, man, we don't look at it that way because we want to be the star. If you know in your heart of heart, man, this ain't really for me. This ain't what I really want to do. Yeah, sure. And you hearing me talk about digital real estate, go find someone else who needs digital real estate. If I get on somebody's email list. See, if I was I get on your email list, see how many times you email me. Man, I ain't got an email in 2 weeks. Brother, you need some emails? Here, I just wrote you 5 emails. Try these out. And if they get sales, you don't think they're going to hire me? So listen, man, go find a need in the marketplace with this digital real estate. You don't always have to be the star or the person building a home, but you can still be a producer by helping out the person who's building a digital real estate.
Man, that's deep. Man, that's deep. I feel like, man, you know what I mean? I didn't learn, you know what I'm saying, some things.
I'm learning right now.
And we do this every day. Yeah. So I really appreciate you, Brother Ben X, for really giving us the opportunity to be able to hear your message and be able to like spread this message, give people value. This is what the Mentality Podcast is about. Individuals like you coming to the platform so we can give everyday working men and women the opportunity to hear these messages. And man, I really want to tell you, man, I thank you and I appreciate you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this was more so for me. So I know everybody don't get value out here, but this was for me because I feel like that I have an opportunity to work on a lot of things and to be able to like grow in a lot of aspects in business, in my life. And I feel like that this was an opportunity for me to learn. So like, man, I'm sorry for being selfish, but like this for me right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. So you know what I mean? I want to just thank you, brother.
Nah, man, I want to thank you too, man. Me just seeing the man that you are, man, the man that you grew to be, man. I'm just proud of that aspect and seeing how, you know, you give so much value in the way that you think and your mindset. You know what I'm saying? I know God speaks to you. He speaks to a lot of his people. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you for being a conduit for that message, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people need that. A lot of people need the message that you're giving them. And, man, I just appreciate you for being here, man, taking your time out.
Praise be to Allah, man. I appreciate you guys as well and having the podcast and the consistency to do it. Because, like I say, we all got to do it together. Everybody going to need each other. So just like Jordan was good and he scored a lot of points, he needed Dennis Rodman to get those rebounds and pass it back out. Yeah. For example, my camera went off, right?
Okay.
So now I got you brothers.
That's right. That's right.
To get the footage. So I just say this, like, man, even the people who have podcasts, they just as important as the person that's giving the message on the podcast, because without the podcast, they wouldn't get through. Without the radio stations, without the arenas, whatever the case may be, they wouldn't be able to even reach the people. So, man, I appreciate y'all for, man, even having this, the way that you guys are doing it with something positive, with something value. There's so many podcasts out there that, and I'm sure because y'all know social media, there's so many topics y'all can talk about that's negative that y'all know would make y'all a lot more viral, lot faster. But y'all decided to stick to your guns and be positive. Mental health, something that a lot of people may not be talking about. It's not attractive. It's not going to attract millions of views per se.
It's not sexy,
but it's going to impact a lot of people that watch it. And I'll end with this. I made a post before. I said, I know y'all see the Shade Room and all these blogs and things of this nature. They get a lot of views. it's not all gossip, but it's news. It includes gossip. It includes who got a divorce. It includes who done beat who and all this type of stuff. It includes who done cut somebody out, and it be funny. But your post that was positive, impactful, practical, that only got 3,000 people to watch it, you don't realize you help more people than that person who got 2 million likes. They got 50 million, 30 million views. Bro, your post is more valuable in the sight of God than that post right there. So always think about not just the numbers, but the number of people that you impacted.
So working, if you've been living on the rock anyway, if you don't know who Brother Ben X is, where can anyone watching right now find you or get in contact with you?
Brother Ben X on everything. Brother Ben X on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Brother Ben X. And let me state this, is Brother Ben X, no underscores, no numbers. There's a lot of fake pages of me. I'm talking about, man, it's like clockwork. There's probably over 100 literally they on TikTok, they on Facebook. So you'll see my picture, but make sure y'all, and don't even check the followers because they can buy followers. So check the name. It's gonna always be Brother Ben X. Nothing more, nothing less. Brother spelled out BENX. I do got a podcast that I have to get more consistent with. It's on Apple Podcasts. I just haven't uploaded in a minute. So Apple Podcasts and just anywhere where you see Brother Ben X is probably gonna be me.
Okay, man. With that being said, this is the Mentality Podcast. This is Austin Carter.
This is Lee.
And check back in with us, man. We out.
Peace.
Mentality.
Truth is, can't nobody stop us. Truth is, can't nobody stop us.